right. Welcome back. I have a few things that I want to talk about on this live stream, but I'll try to keep it limited to two basic topics. And that is the one you see now, dealing with this propaganda surrounding dogs in general. And that's tied into something from the American Kennel Club. Now, these people never respond. I don't expect them to ever respond, but there are eyes on them, and they should be aware of that. And they should care. I would hope that they would care, that there are a lot of critics, new criticism, and would address it someday, but we'll see. But yeah, the propaganda is crazy. Shout out to everybody who's able to join me. I see Band Old Dogs, Mr. Payne, Ranger, Atkins, Mr. Fail in the building. Now, I talked about this in the members area. This made me mad. I think it surfaced 3 weeks ago. I just saw it for the first time here recently. I don't know why. Stories like this, they'll strike a nerve with me, even though I've seen a bunch of them like this. Just every now and then, they will just really upset me. This pit bull was horrifically abused for 10 years before he found his peace when taken into the hands of kind-hearted people. Into the hands of kind-hearted people. Now, this title is loaded with propaganda. Just the title alone. First of all, saying it's been abused just because it was a fighting dog. It could have been the fighting dog. And on top of that, it's hard to argue, just based on logic, it's hard to argue that pit bulls are being abused when they do something that they love to do so much. Is it really abuse to allow a creature to do what it wants to do? What it was bred to do? And it feels really good when it does it? Is that really abuse? Now, their logic is that it's abuse to just let them fight. But that's another way of saying it. It's abuse just allowing them to exist. They're always going to want to kill. So if it's abusive to have something in society that's not allowed to do what it wants to do, what it was bred to do, then you should just get rid of them. That's the humane response. It's like, look, we can't allow these things to just kill, so we have to get rid of them. That's what they want to do. Why you think it's so hard to stop them once they start? They could have a change of heart, but they're not normal. But anyways, so this topic, this headline upset me. Okay, the abuse part and talking about how it was taken into the hands of kind-hearted people. Again, that is their way to suggest that you can reform even fighting dogs. And that's all it's talking about. Whenever they talk about dog stories like this, they babble on and on and on and on and on. So sometimes I have to sum up what the article is talking about just for the sake of the live stream. Okay, so it was a fighting dog. Fighting dog that was adopted by someone else, a kind-hearted people. And in this article, look at the images they use. Almost every image is of this woman hugging this dog. And look how they just loaded it up with these photos. I mean, it makes you dizzy just scrolling through them. And they got writing all throughout these photos. So they want you to see these images. They're forcing you to see these images if you want to read the article. So I saw this article and my head started spinning. Man, you know, even though I know that this is what they do, is how they think, it still infuriates me from time to time. It is just frustrating to see people fail so often and so epically. Now, why would you have all of these images of this woman hugging a shelter pit bull that used to be a fighting pit bull, when you know full well that the behaviors tell you to never hug dogs? Excuse me, that dogs don't like to be hugged. Everywhere, even the American Kennel Club, on their website, they tell you the same thing. And believe it or not, the Kennel Club is very thorough on their website. I mean, they're not partially advising you against hugging dogs. They're fully advising you, like strongly advising you, don't hug dogs, and dogs flat out don't like it, on the Kennel Club's website right now. So this information, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Don't hug dogs. But yet, there is a whole slew of images of this woman hugging this dog. A dog that is said to have had an abused past. That means it could snap at any moment. And they want you to do exactly what the behaviors tell you not to do. People, this animal activism, not activism, extremism that I'm talking about. And I got that from this article. I shared it on, I think, Twitter. Yeah, I shared it on Twitter. Animal extremist propaganda is prominent in mainstream media. Yeah, we know. Yeah, we know. That is quite apparent. This is crazy, man. Okay, now we're back to this article. So they got her hugging this mutt. They do know it's past. They know it's dangerous, and they want to do the most dangerous thing you can do with a dog, which is hug it and get all up in its face. So it's undeniable that they're promoting that behavior. To hug them. They're just saying hug them anyways. And I'm saying they're being just that hypocritical when they say it. Now, this is the Kennel Club's piece on hugging dogs. It's very thorough. She's like, look at what they say. And this is a good article. It said, if you watch dogs interact, you'll notice they don't embrace each other. I said that years ago. Like, you don't see dogs hugging. Dogs have no idea what a hug is. So stop doing it. He said, you'll notice they don't embrace each other. They might pin each other to the ground, but it's only one of two things: play fighting or real fighting. And when they play fight, they're just practicing killing. That's all it is. Murder practice. Murder practice. So there's nothing cute about that. So when you hug a dog, they don't understand what you're trying to say. This is what the Kennel Club wrote. Okay, that's straightforward. They said, in fact, you're essentially trapping them. They can't get away from anything that scares them or makes them uncomfortable while in your arms. And as hugging is often accompanied by direct staring and putting your face next to the dog's, they might also interpret your actions as aggressive or threatening. Listen to that. This is on the Kennel Club's website, man. Yeah, let's deal with this. Let's deal with this. Wow. I don't have no problem with what they have said so far. And y'all know I look at articles like this looking for something to criticize. But this is exactly what I would try to explain to them. Says no wonder why they don't enjoy the squeezing sensation of a hug. Look, you might believe your dog adores your hugs. After all, you do it all the time, and your dog doesn't complain. But it's far more likely your dog is simply tolerating your behavior. So they're telling you the dog don't enjoy it, no matter how many times you've done it. Wow. And they've already told you, you increase the chances of getting attacked. They say they're going to look at that action as aggressive, as an act of dominance, because dogs are so dumb, that's the only thing they understand. Either be subordinate or dominant. There's no balance. There's no in between. Say, although the odd dog doesn't seem to mind, most dogs display stress signals when hugged, and their owners are oblivious. Man, oh man. So, and here it is, they say it again. If the dog's stress level from a hug is high enough, the dog can bite. The hugger's face is right next to the dog's face and therefore their teeth. That puts whoever's hugging the dog at a risk of serious injuries. Even if your dog tolerates hugs from you, they might not be okay with one coming from a stranger or young child. And that's exactly what they teach kids to do in these schools, these therapy dogs. They teach them to hug those dogs. They teach hugging dogs, period. They all do, including the Kennel Club. Now, what I just read is on the Kennel Club's website. But this is also on the Kennel Club's website. A child hugging a dog. Here's another one on their website. Look at how they're trying to be slick about it. Oh, it's not a complete hug. Right? This is all on the Kennel Club's website. All of this. Okay, there's another one somewhere. I think it's in here. Or is it? Okay, maybe not. I thought one was on there. That's why I saved it. Okay, this is their website. All of this is on their website. Boy, They tell you don't leave them alone with dogs, and there it is. They got a kid hugging. That's a complete hug. That's a full hug. That's exactly what they have on their website telling you to never do. But because that's part of the propaganda campaign, they have to include it. Because the sellers of dogs, they want to invoke emotions. Not hugging dogs is unacceptable to the people who sell dogs. Without that emotion, that's money out. That's money lost in their mind. This is, again, the Kennel Club website. All over their website, they got images of people hugging dogs, and it's usually kids. There's no filter on their website for kids. I just Googled American Kennel Club and clicked images, and all of this popped up. So what does that mean? It means that this is propaganda. Images of people hugging dogs, that itself is the propaganda. Even though the behaviors tell you it's dangerous and don't do it, they show people doing it. In order to make these photos, they have to actually do it. These are real risks that you see, where any one of them could have gotten attacked. Okay, so how is that possible? A world-renowned organization like the Kennel Club, on their website, themselves instructing you to not hug dogs and telling you because they don't like it, don't understand it, and it's more likely that it will want to attack you. And this is not exclusive to the Kennel Club. If you check the websites that talk about how you should not hug dogs, whenever you hear a behaviorist say that, look at their other material. They still support the idea of hugging dogs. Many of them, they're hugging the dog themselves. The same behaviorists or trainers, whatever they call themselves, they're all dog lovers. The same ones that tell you that you shouldn't do it, you can find them doing it. Cannot make this up. So that upset me. And the Kennel Club, I'd like to see them remove all of these images from the internet, period, in videos. Remove them. See, I wouldn't advise people to do something this dangerous. And there's no way you can deny that it's wrong to encourage people to do something this dangerous. That's just wrong. It's wrong. So let's hope. Now, I've called the Kennel Club out several times. They've never responded. Now, if they don't respond, I hope to see some changes in the imagery out here. No matter what, we are entitled to hold you to the standards of your own professionals, of your own experts. That only makes sense. We're not doing anything that can be considered bullying. That's why, you know, a lot of these people, they flag my videos, but I don't violate no regulation. This is information they put out. And like I said, it only makes sense to hold organizations and others up to the standards of your own professionals. And they all say the same thing. Don't hug dogs. Dogs don't like it. It's dangerous. But anyway, this was another story that sort of got under my skin. And that is about these fighting dogs. The professional fighters, you know, they're said to have these fighting events underground all across the country. Michael Vick, as we all know, was busted being involved in these fighting organizations or whatever. This act, or they call it a sport. Now, keep in mind, in some other countries, it's legal. Dog fighting is legal in some countries, and it's considered a sport. Okay, so the idea of this being universally accepted as abuse, that's not the case. Now, why would it be legal in certain countries? Because just like I said, this is what they were bred to do. So this is what they want to do. That's why I said you don't have to train the dogs to attack. When you're dealing with bully breeds, you don't have to train them to attack. You just release them. Now, if you look at some of the things that these trainers, here, check this out. I want y'all to check this out. Oh boy, this is heavy. This is heavy. Brace yourself. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wrong video.
Across the United States, over 40,000 people from every community and background are estimated to be involved in dogfighting. In Detroit, Michigan, where unemployment is well above the national average, gambling on the illegal sport equals big money for dogfighters.
I've been out the dog game now for a while, but I've been in it over 20-some years. I like the spirit of the fighting. I like the money was good. The prizes that you get are good. A lot of guys know it's wrong, but that fast money is what turns everybody over, the fast money.
And it's the dog that's seen as a commodity.
In order for your dog to be a name, it has to win at least 3 times in a row. So if it wins 3 times in a row, it becomes a champion. If it wins 5 times, it's a grand champion. The grand champions are the ones that make the money.
One prize-winning pit bull can bring in tens of thousands of dollars during its lifetime. Even though these fights are an underground activity, they are often run like organized gambling.
Okay, we know all that. We know all that. Let me fast forward this, because I just want y'all to see this one part. Where is that at?
That's what they jump up and they bite and they pull on.
Yeah, listen to this.
To endure a fight that can last hours, many of these dogs are rigorously trained.
You have your spring pole. That's what they jump up and they bite and they pull on. They just tug on it, tug on it.
You see that? They put that around the dog's neck, and the dog tugs this around for hours to build up its neck muscles.
All day for like maybe an hour or two, all day. You have to run in anywhere from 4 to 5 miles every other day. I can tell you this, they use everything that you use for a racehorse, that's what they use for a pit bull.
Okay. That's not abusive. That's not teaching the dog to fight. That's just building up their muscles and their stamina. This is an article. You can go through this. They talk about what the dogs go through, the fighting dogs. And now the bait dogs, that's like flat out the definition of abuse, because they'll tape the bait dog's mouth shut and literally use it as bait with its mouth, so it can't even fight back. But that's because those dogs are not as aggressive as some of the other dogs in the litter. So they only select the toughest dogs. But the dog with its mouth taped shut, it would still attack somebody. It'd still end up mauling somebody's shot. It'll still attack. You know what I'm saying? So they have the dogs doing all these different things to build up. They'll even put the dog on steroids. They'll shoot the dogs up with steroids. They'll put them on a bulking diet and exercise regimens. See? They're also given steroids and other supplements to speed up the process. Now, steroids can enhance aggression, but you don't have to do that with pit bulls for them to be aggressive. They're already aggressive. They'll just be more so on the steroids. So all they do is make sure the dog is strong. Okay? This is why dog fighting is legal in some countries. You're only making the dog stronger. You're not actually teaching it nothing about fighting. Y'all don't teach the dog to insert its teeth into its prey. You don't teach a dog to do that. You don't teach bully breeds to hold and shake. You don't teach them to do nothing that they do consistently every time they attack. All you do is release them, and they immediately want to attack, and they love it. As they're attacking a victim, they love it and they feel great. They want to attack. That's like a release for them, because that's what they were bred to do. So what's the real crime? The real crime is their existence. Their existence itself is the crime. That itself is animal abuse. Allowing them to exist is animal abuse. Where you want to project the idea that you're above wrongdoing, but yet you acknowledge that you have to do pit bulls wrongly. You have to mistreat them in order for them to exist, because you refuse to let them do what they want to do. They want to kill. They want to maul. They want to be aggressive. They want to fight. That's how they communicate. So you can't have it both ways. It don't work like that. Don't work like that. But this is a really good article right here. Let me share this. Like I said, I shared this on Twitter as well, where they're talking about how these animal extremists, as they call them, talking about how they influence the media and how these people are sometimes directly connected to these big, you know, lobbies. And they're the ones writing some of these articles. Sometimes it's not even a bona fide journalist writing these articles. And they do that to make sure that their propaganda appears in the context or in the content of the articles. Real crazy stuff. They talk about the dodo on here. Talking about how it's no stranger to pro-animal rights content. Dodo has had an animal rights gravitation from the start. One of their first articles to go viral was in 2014. Recently spotted one of the technique. So yeah, the dodo is an international giant. That's how they described him here. Boy, these people are crazy. Look, if you're so crazy about animal abuse and you're so against it, then acknowledge that it's abuse to simply allow pit bulls to exist. If you're so against it, be like, look, you know, in order to end abuse, you need to end this entire breed. Never should have created them in the first place. You know, that was a sinister idea. You can't just pick up something that came where its origin is in filth. The whole purpose behind breeding these things into existence itself was immoral. Something is so deformed, all it knows and wants to do is kill, kill, fight, fight. They don't even need a trigger. Just to create something like that is immoral. Likewise, it's immoral to keep something like that in existence. And you know what's funny? I think most of these pit bull advocates, they know that. They've reflected on this themselves at some point. At some point, they've had to. Like, is it reasonable to ban these things? Is it reasonable to ban them? There are bans all over the world. Where there's no bans, you have a bunch of restrictions. Nobody is in the dark about the increased risks pit bulls present. You see, this propaganda machine is powerful. It's powerful. Some of you might remember this story. Yeah, be sure to check this out. Be sure to check this out. Real good article. And it's just like many people have said in the comment section for a long time. They've been trying to educate me on the extremists, the animal rights extremists in the media. In the media. I'm still playing catch up. And this article really woke me up to that. Anytime you got a lot of money behind whatever you're doing, it'll be somewhat sophisticated. Now, some of y'all might remember this story. Do y'all remember a lawsuit against, who was it? Best Friends Animal Society. Y'all remember there was a lawsuit against them for this dog attack in 2016. I can't remember if I talked about this. I don't even know if my channel wasn't even out in 2016. I don't think. But most of you've seen this victim. Here, I'm going to share Yeah, because it's too gruesome. Yeah, it's way too gruesome to show. Here, I posted a link in the chat room right now. I'll go ahead and pin it. We'll pin it there. It's a very bad injury. Like her face is just hanging off. She literally got holes in her face as a result of this attack. But do y'all know Best Friends Animal Society reported that that dog was good with children? And they settled out of court. Best Friends, they settled out of court. So just gave them some money. Good with children. There's your propaganda right there. Much of it is in the form of a bold-faced lie. And there's no way for them to know that any pit bull is good with children. The best they can tell you is that it hasn't mauled a child yet. Right? That's all they know. They can't say that the dog won't do something in the future. Especially if it's a bully breed. How could you possibly reassure somebody that a dog is safe? Like, how could you, and what would it be based on? When its history is ruled out, it can't be used. Because most dog attacks, the owners say it's never shown aggression. So we can't use that as an excuse. Well, Best Friends, I don't know if they got sued or what happened here. I think they or I don't know how much it was. I'm curious. I'm curious. You know, because it was probably for a nice chunk of change. A nice chunk of change. These people have so much money. It's ridiculous. Big reason why the media outlets cater to them so much. All over, during these past few decades, pit bull advocates, ever since they've been out, they've talked about how the media has played the biggest role in spreading misinformation. That's been a major talking point of pit bull advocates. How the media has tarnished the image of pit bulls, almost knowingly. But as somebody pointed out yesterday, it was War on Dogs. Shout out to War on Dogs. They're just mad, like I said, that you pointed out that pit bulls launch these deadly, gruesome attacks. They don't want you to say anything about it. They want you to behave the way they behave. That's to keep silent and just keep promoting their existence. So that's not only abusive for the pit bulls, that's abusive to people. And that's what this boils down to. People who are abusive to everybody around them. Everybody who lives with them. Everybody in society. I've never seen, I would not expect for this world to be that backwards. For there to be this many people in a country, somewhat 65% of the American population, dog lovers, I would have never thought that it was possible. But the owners of some of these breeds, it's overboard. It's ridiculous. It's a lifestyle that should be banned. The lifestyle itself should be banned. Why wouldn't it? When it's dangerous to other people's physical existence. What more reason do you need to ban something? Forget about child laws. Just basic, laws in general. Shouldn't it include removing something that wants to attack somebody and capable of killing them? There's really nothing. There's nothing left to talk about. That's why these behaviorists, they're not going to respond to us. Because they know there's nothing left to talk about. There's nothing for them to try to argue. Okay? You should welcome this. We represent evolution. I'm not saying we're perfect. We're probably flawed in more ways than you, maybe. If you're talking about sheer number of flaws. But my flaws, they're not hurting you. They're not putting you in danger. And that's the only reason why your behavior, it's legit. It's justified to hold it up to scrutiny, man. Simple as that. Shout out to everybody able to join me on this brief live stream. I'm going to try to make more short videos like this. We're going to create opponents. We're going to create opponents. They're going to come off as very unstable. Because that's the only way to argue against the things that we talk about. Is to embrace an unstable reaction or response. They might just be belligerent, make false accusations. It'll be something like erratic and impulsive. It won't be well thought out. It won't be in a professional way at all. Because the professionals, they know better. They know better. They know that we are in a pickle here. Because something that's embraced and promoted as a toy, to people and kids, is something that's far more dangerous than any dangerous toy that's ever been created. Far more. And it violates our current laws. They violate our current laws. Specifically, when there are children in the home. That's a violation of the laws that we have right now. Like, we don't have no laws on the books that could be used against a single person who doesn't have kids in the home. Households like that, they don't literally violate the law. See what I'm saying? There's no law against having a loaded gun. They say that's not against the law if you're an adult single by yourself. Same with a dog. You break the law when a child is in the home with you and the gun, but not with you and the dog. When the dog gives you the same end results as the gun, which is a dead body. And if not that, then a very mutilated, damaged body. What's the difference? See, so once a child lives in the home, that's a violation of our current laws. There's nothing more important to talk about than when your laws are being broken on a daily basis and called accidents, when we know full well these are not accidents. No, there's nothing more important. A lot of these dog lovers come through. Oh, there's more important things to worry about in the world. Why are you worried about dogs? No. Who does that? Who tries to dismiss tens of thousands of mutilations, near-death experiences, reconstructive surgeries? That's not minor. 40, 50 deaths. Come on, man. Who tries to push that to the side as something irrelevant? The end result is unacceptable no matter how it was caused. When this happens with toys, those things are wiped clean from the shelves. Nobody complains. Nobody complains. And if we're going to be consistent, you got to do dogs the same way. They have to be done the exact same way. Let's hope we could expedite this process. Big shout out to Nikki Vaughn in the super chat. Big shout out to everybody. Hope y'all doing well this afternoon. This is Monday. I think we all go back to work tomorrow. I was off today, but today is the 2nd. The first fell on a Sunday. So we got Monday off. So that was nice. That was nice, and I feel good. Shout out to Wandering Jules, who has been a maximum supporter for 10 months. Big shout out to Wandering Jules. City I've been going, but it was the worst dog nut city I've been to. Man, the photos I see sent by Yusuf Mambo, I never thought it was that bad. Those dogs get close to people out there. You know, I thought they, sort of kept at a distance away from human gatherings. No, they integrate themselves all in the midst of the people. There's no way, man. I couldn't even visit an area like that. There's no way. Just dogs everywhere. I try to retweet him whenever he shares them. If you follow me on Twitter, you see them. Some of them are videos. Craziest stuff I've ever seen in my life. It's like hell on earth. It would be for me anyways. Right? I can only speak for myself. Oh, man. Yeah, everybody's going back to work, going back to school. I'm ready. I'm well rested. I did not finish my book, but that's okay. I got farther than I thought I would. And shouldn't rush it. I'm going to have to get an editor. It might take me a while to get it out, but I'm going to get it out. A slow work in progress. Big shout out to everybody in the building. Mr. Louise, Nikki Vaughn, Z-Man, everybody else. And I hope to see you all back here on the next live stream as we continue with this crusade.